It's NFL Combine Week right now in Indianapolis, and I thought this would be a good time to really dive into some of the players that you are going to want to take a look at throughout the rest of the week for the Chargers. Obviously, some of the players right now are kind of going through their workouts. Some of the players are going through their interviews and going through that process. But I thought that it was smart for all of us to kind of dive into and look at what the Chargers are going to be focusing on in the draft, specifically at pick number 22. When we look at the needs for the Chargers right now, offensive line, cornerback, and defensive line really jump out to me, as well as a lot of other experts that cover this team. What I think is important is to continue to build around Justin Herbert. It's very clear that Mike McDaniel and this offense, they are going to want to make sure that QB1 feels as comfortable as possible so that he can play as well as possible. So don't be shocked if you see a lot of mock drafts the rest of this way and a lot of content coming out from us talking about the offensive line. And that's where we're going to start today's video before we look at some potential options at cornerback and defensive line. But before we do that, you want Chargers content all year long. I want your free support so that way I can make Chargers content here on the channel all year long. Let's make a deal. All you got to do, come on in, hit that subscribe button on the channel, and you will be covered on your favorite team. I promise to do those videos. All you got to do, show up every single time that we post a video, hit that thumbs up button, and make sure that you already hit that subscribe button as well. If we make that deal, I think we're going to have a lot of fun here on Chargers Now. All right, so the big O-line target that has been rumored to be a main focal point of this Chargers draft prep and draft process has been one Vega Ioane out of Penn State. He is someone that I think can instantly come in and add to this team and add to this Chargers squad. When we look at the offensive line from last year, well, one, you're going to see that Zion Johnson, he is an unrestricted free agent. So that means that he can go wherever in free agency. Obviously, the Chargers have made it clear that they would like to bring him back, but there is going to be a price tag on that. When we look at Mekhi Becton, I think that pretty much everyone can agree with me when I say this. He will not be in LA next year. And Bradley Bozeman had been your center. Well, now he's retired. So you're going to have to find a way to build those three positions up because I think we're all pretty darn comfortable with what's going on at left tackle and at right tackle. Vega Ioane was someone who was already kind of mocked to the Chargers, someone that everyone kind of predicted, hey, that's someone that the Chargers are going to keep their eye on, especially if he's there in those mid to later picks in that first round, which, of course, the Chargers do hold. Now he becomes an even bigger point of emphasis for the Chargers. When you look at how well he played last year, according to PFF now, it is important to note that PFF is not the end-all, be-all, but it can get you on the right track for how well a player performed. Tell you right now, this kid is elite. He does not get beat in pass blocking and in run blocking. It's very rare that someone's going to get around him. He is the best guard, in my opinion, when it comes to this draft class. What I think impresses me the most about what Vega Ioane is able to do is his ability to move. This is a home run pick for the Chargers. If they are able to get Vega Ioane at pick number 22, you are taking a position that is a need, and you're filling it with the best position or best player at that position available, and you are grabbing a player that fits into your offensive scheme with Mike McDaniel. If Vega Ioane is there at pick 22, the Chargers should be racing to the podium to pick him. He would be a home run draft pick, and he would instantly make whatever side of the offensive line better. Look at what the Seahawks did in Seattle. They took Gray Zabel, a guard at pick 18, and they had their two tackles that they loved, but they didn't love the interior. Then they got their left guard, and he helped bolster that offense, and it was enough to get the offense where it needed to be. I think that Vega Ioane can be that player for the Chargers. Let me know who you want the Chargers to take at pick 22. Is it an offensive lineman? I think that it probably should be. Let me know if you want an offensive lineman to be taken at that pick number 22 spot, yes or no, down below in the comment section. Could the Chargers take a look at a young edge rusher potentially? Or I guess I should say a middle-aged edge rusher, because the edge rusher that I have potentially going to the Chargers is not young for a college football player. When we take a look at what could be happening in LA with some of the different edge rushers that they have, I think there are a couple of different moves that could happen that would for sure affect the Chargers. Obviously, Odafe Oweh is going into free agency. He is someone who could very easily and very quickly head to Baltimore. That seems to be the other team that is very much linked to him. The other move that could happen, Khalil Mack, well, he's on the end of his run as a football player in the National Football League. Could he end up retiring? That is for sure a possibility. When we look at the stat line for both of these guys last year, obviously they played very well, and they played very well in a Jesse Minter defense that got the most out of him. The Chargers are going to look to make sure that they can re-sign both these guys in free agency. General Manager Joe Hortiz has made that very clear, and he made it very clear at the 2026 NFL Combine. What I find fascinating, though, is if the Chargers are unable to get a deal done between Oweh and Khalil Mack, let alone both of them, they could look at an edge rusher in that spot, and someone that I think would be fascinating with this Chargers defense and with Coach O'Leary's defense is Akheem Mesidor. Now, Mesidor obviously is a little bit older. He is someone that I think there are a lot of teams saying, hey, I don't know if you take him. He's too old to play in the National Football League as a rookie. When I look at his stat output this past season, I say I don't care how old that guy is. You get him on your team right now. Over 12 sacks, ton of TFLs. The guy was flying around making big plays. When you look at his career as a whole, I think that he gets better and better every year. He, of course, just had some injury issues that have kept him kind of back and is why he was not able to be drafted or taken earlier on. I think it's important to note that General Manager Hortiz has made it clear that he values a lot of the talent that is in the edge rusher position in this draft class. So if the Chargers decide to spend a lot of the money that they have on free agent offensive linemen, maybe this is a position where they can go at pick 22. Hey, Akheem Mesidor is here. He's someone that can add into this defense. We weren't able to bring back our top tier edge rushers. Let's go grab him and get him in this offense or into this defense, And I do believe that he would be able to make some big time plays for this team. I would find it very, very fascinating if that's the decision that the Chargers chose to go with, but I definitely wouldn't say that it was wrong. Make sure that you like the video today if you love the Chargers. We are trying to continue to grow. The more likes that we get on the channel, by the way, thank you for 2,000 subscribers. The more likes that we get on the channel, the more videos we're going to be able to do for you. So make sure that you come on in and hit that thumbs up button. The last move that the Chargers could do is go after some secondary help, specifically in the cornerback room. And with someone like Avieon Terrell, I do think that he could help really add into what this defense is trying to be in LA. Now, there were a lot of successful points on this year from Avieon Terrell, despite the fact that the Clemson Tigers did not perform as well as you may have expected going into the year. The other thing that is important to kind of note and important to talk about when it comes to Terrell is that he has had a very, very, very successful career. He is the type of player that hasn't just had success in 1 year. He has had success over multiple years. It also helps out that his brother is already playing in the National Football League. What I would say with a guy like Terrell is that when I look at this Chargers defense, yes, there are some holes in that secondary. What I would say, though, is it's always going to be about the trenches. I'm a former offensive lineman. When you look at the two big needs that the Chargers have, it could potentially be on the D-line if the Chargers don't get those free agent signings, and it can be on the offensive line, and it's going to be on the offensive line no matter what. Find a way to build out those trenches, and you can find players in free agency, which, by the way, the Chargers have the second most amount of money available to them in the National Football League. You can find those types of guys in free agency, or you can wait and spend those draft picks on guys later on in this draft. I understand that corner isn't the deepest class that it has been in quite some time, but I would point out that you have a bigger necessity in an offensive line room that I think you can go out and get one of the top players there, and I don't think you're going to have to move up to go and get him. I think Vega Ioane will be there, and if he's not, then move over to that edge rusher position. Potentially, worst case, you move over to that corner position. But I really do believe that you need to build this team through the trenches, which is why I would go with Vega Ioane. Share this video on social media. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. If you share this video on social media and you tag me, I'll make sure that you get a shout out in a future show. Hit that sub button. Thank you to everyone who's already subscribed to the channel. We're at 2,000 subscribers, just about a month into us creating the channel. That makes me feel pretty darn good. Thank you guys so much for doing that. I love and appreciate every one of you. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video, and bolt up.